Well, hello. We'd like to welcome everybody to the live music show this afternoon. My name is DJ Spaceship. I'm also an on-air personality here at the station. Ken is going to be out for the next couple of weeks, and we have a special guest here. Well, actually, we have a trio guest here. We have a band out of our backyard here we like to call Tampa Bay by the name of Liquid Pennies. Make some noise for Liquid Pennies if you're in there.
Hello there.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So, once again, like I stated, we have Liquid Pennies in the house. We're going to take some time to get to know these fellas very well. We're going to hear some music from them, from some of their album that was just released recently. And, as stated, we're going to have a conversation about some great things here that's going on. But before we do that, I want to get into a question for you real quick. My question is that I wanted to kick it off with is, of all the different versions of rock, why was psychedelic rock your choice, and why the name Liquid Pennies? Because I'm curious about that myself.
I don't know if it was any sort of like conscious choice that we made to play a certain kind of music. I think the umbrella of psychedelic rock kind of offers a lot of options as far as like the diversity of the music that we play. So I think that's just one of those things that we've kind of it's been kind of put on us maybe a little bit more, but I think we all come from diverse backgrounds in music, and I think maybe the length of our songs maybe lend itself to that, but I'd say psychedelic rock, and there's a prog rock. We all are into like punk and hardcore and emo music. I mean, it's all kind of a blend of things. But as far as the band name goes, it's basically a name of one of my songs that actually we've never played. We were kind of playing it for a little bit, but it's I don't want to decipher it too much, but like, what do you think? What does it mean? What's your interpretation of it?
Well, I mean, Liquid Pennies can go so many different directions. It can be a vibe. It can be a feeling. It can be a point of state where you guys were at that point in time. So I mean, it can go many different ways. So instead of assuming, I always like to throw that question out there and see what we get from there.
Yeah, no, I like that explanation.
Yeah,
very ambiguous.
Yes, and so we have Christian on the drums, we have Dylan on the bass, and we have Chaz, the vocalist, as well as you on the guitar as well. Floods could have easily been an album instead of an EP. Why wasn't it released as an album?
I mean, again, I think that's just maybe up for interpretation. I mean, you could call it an album. Maybe by the amount of songs on it, it would be considered an EP. Our second one too, Distant Dawn, was 4 songs, but that album's 40 minutes and 20 seconds long.
Yeah,
so
it was pretty lengthy, but good music nevertheless.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I guess if you go by the amount of songs, it's EP length, but I don't know where that gray area is. Past like a half hour, it turns into an album or something. But and it's also the last one we did, Distant Dawn too. It was a conscious decision how we split that up, because it's split up with kind of like ambient interludes. Right. So we decided to kind of just put that at the ends of the songs rather than break it up, so it just kind of all flows together.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so it was, again, like, I don't know if we really planned on, when we went into the studio and we said we had 4 songs, maybe it seemed like a less daunting task to the engineer, Nathan. But we definitely got all we could, squeeze all we could out of those 4 songs. So
completely understood. Well, as stated, you're out of the backyard, homegrown, St. Pete. I want to hear some music, and I'm pretty sure the listeners that are tuned in want to hear something. So I'll give the floor to you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Liquid Pennies. They're kicking it off with their first song.
All right, this one's called Timber Timbre.
You're listening to the live music showcase on WMNF Tampa. Okay. All right. So y'all took me on a run with that one, man. Like I can definitely hear that. Like it took me so many different places. Like it could have been a car chase. I could definitely hear it as something that was scored into a movie, like a car chase scene, or just like, some opening credits type stuff.
Definitely has a driving
Right.
kind of thing. So hopefully there's some people out there driving their car, just cruising.
Right.
Maybe not being chased in
Right.
the car.
Not
but,
chased, but in the car.
But
A
just
car
kind
scene.
of cruising, having fun.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a hot, sticky day, just vibing in the car.
Now, if I got a ticket listening to that, would you guys take care of that for me, or
we
just
consider that. Okay.
We'll
Dylan's
split it
not
with
going
you.
to,
start a
yeah.
GoFundMe,
We'll split
a
it.
GoFund him type thing?
There we go. Yeah,
we can make
we'll
that
share the share the
Equal
wealth.
responsibility.
Exactly.
I can
We
understand.
actually our first album, we had a song called Dissolver on
Okay.
there. We played a show with a band one time, and someone told us that it sounded like good bank robbing music, which we thought that always thought that was a cool, like, I think same thing. It was like car chasing,
Right.
kind of, high octane.
I can see
kinda
that in the
stuff.
movie. I don't know if you guys seen or heard of the movie called Driver, and it has
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy that drives all different kind of cars,
Oh,
all
yeah.
kind of. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
he's pretty good.
That was a
with it.
video game too back in the day. I
It
think,
actually
right?
absolutely
Yeah, I
was.
used
I
to
had
play
it on
that.
I think it was PlayStation.
Yep, yep,
Yeah. See,
yep.
so you're
Yep.
a gamer like I used to be. I retired.
Me too, actually.
Kids
Yeah.
happened, so they
Yeah.
took the money away and put it other places.
PS2 was about when I stopped. I think
Yeah.
San Andreas was the last game I played all the way
See,
through.
360, GTA 5, and then I was out.
There you go.
There's
you
the
go.
age
Yeah,
gap
my
right there.
There you go. So in 2018, you guys used to go and just jam out at different spots, and then you officially became the band. Was it in 2018?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay. And then in 2019 is when Flood EP
Yep.
was actually put out as well.
Yep.
And as stated earlier, you're a trio. We have Christian, Dylan, and Chaz. And there's a fourth person that we'll see occasionally that appear with you guys by the name is Zoe Turtle.
Yep.
Now the thing that caught me by surprise is I've never seen a violinist, in a rock band. So can you explain to me like how that the reaction you guys get when she gets up there and people see her pull out a violin to do her thing?
Yeah, it's definitely, especially the kind of music we play, you don't see it quite as much. There's bands like King Crimson or
Right.
the Mahavishnu Orchestra or some of that stuff that I grew up kind of listening to, but it's a little bit of a rarity and not something around here that you're
Right.
seeing as much. I think maybe the last local band kind of in a similar vein was maybe like Hello Joyce. I think they had a violinist for a little bit, but
Gotcha.
yeah, it always people are always excited when they see her kind of tuning up and getting ready and like what are they
They're
about
looking
to
like,
do
what is she
here?
about? What is she doing?
Especially from having not played with her in the band until just the last album, Distant Dawn, was the first one she joined us on.
Right.
Kind of a different thing. People that were kind of coming to our shows and expecting to see kind of the more, punkish kind of driving stuff that we were
Right.
kind of starting out with. She definitely brought a different element and, I don't want to say feminine energy, but
Right.
it gave us a little bit of a different outlook on it and made us think about slowing down and maybe thinking about dynamics and
Right.
textures with music a little bit more, which is really cool. And maybe incorporating some of the folkier stuff, because Zoe and I kind of started by playing acoustic, and some of those songs from the last one and this one were kind of hashed out on acoustic. So
Right.
I think it brings the melody and the song kind of forward a little bit. And so yeah, she's a kind of auxiliary member, and she'll join us as does our friend Z on saxophone at some of our shows.
Nice.
Where we're kind of headed with this stuff we're working on now is we're kind of stripping it down, and it's a little bit kind of more to the core of things, and we're kind of going back to that a little bit with some of our newer stuff. So it's
Gotcha.
cool having that flexibility with it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now, 2020 comes, or should I say it happened, and it brings live music shows to a screeching halt. So there's no more DJing, no more live bands, no
Right.
more, cover bands, anything like that. What was it like playing your first live gig, your first live show after that 1.5 year hiatus that you guys had?
Oh man, incredible.
Elating.
Yeah. And I'll say too, I remember going to the first live show was the Drainouts and Nervous Girls played at the Red Star Rock Bar here. And I remember that feeling just, you knew you missed it, but
Right.
it wasn't until you're there that it's just being around people and the energy of music. And I'm still experiencing that over the past year, because I went to a lot of rock shows, and then like hearing heavy bass music for the first time after that.
It's
long.
a shock.
It really is. So and then the other part of that is playing too. We all just miss that so much, and I don't think any of us can go without playing live. I think that's something that we all want to do for the rest of our lives. So
I agree. I definitely do. I want to do that.
Yeah. So
I want to do that.
It kind of came out of nowhere. We were ready, prepared to like not play live for another year. So it was just very elating. And our last show our first show back was July 3rd of last year. So it's just at a year, but it feels like it's been so much that's happened in the past year. We've been playing as much as we can and really not taking it for granted.
Gotcha. Okay, well, what I want to do is I want to get back into some music. I want you guys to give me 2 songs, and when I come back, I'm gonna have some questions for Christian. I want to throw some questions around to everybody so we can get everybody talking. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the Live Music Showcase, WMNF Tampa.
This one's called Secret Stash.
'cause we get by. Maybe this is right. I'm doing just fine. Riding on the vine. Set up like a cat. Riding on the light. Bringing back a shot. Need something that bites. On your own, on your own.
You are listening to the live music showcase on WMNF. Man, I mean, the energy that you guys have into that, like I like the coordination, and I'm watching Mr. Carno on that bass, man. Like you just tuned into it, man. Like you're dialed in, and it's like an assassin. You got your target, and you just going in with that.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I like moving around to that one a little bit.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So you told them make sure you put this one in the playlist so we can get me moving around, get my blood pumping and stuff like that.
That's right. Now you got it.
Yeah, Christian, I have a question for you, Christian, because I'm hearing you and we got you kind of hidden off in the closet, so we won't, we hope people don't get upset with us about that, but we can hear you pretty well.
Okay.
Did you play in band in high school by any chance?
No, I did not, because I didn't know how to read sheet music, so they were like, yeah, you're not joining band.
They just put you to the curb.
They
Yeah,
didn't even
just
try
put
to
me in
teach
curb.
you?
I took like a music theory class, and then I still didn't know how to count in 6/8 for the longest time, so it didn't really work out all that well.
So who or what was it that drew you to wanting to play drums to begin with?
I think Aaron Gillespie of Under Oath. I was really big into that band and just watching him play and seeing him like sort of sing and play. I was like, oh man, I want to do that. And then quickly realized I don't really have the voice for it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just stick to drumming. And I just focused on that. And yeah, now I'm here.
You've still got that long red hair and all those drumming chops, though.
Yes, I'm trying.
Now, my question for you, Dylan, and actually listen to the band, but I want you to take lead on this question.
Okay.
If you can play at your dream festival, what would it be?
Ooh, Dream Festival. I have no idea. Honestly, there's a lot of really good festivals with good lineups. Levitation in Austin has a lot of cool stuff going on.
Okay.
Desert Days just released. If we're talking A-tier music festivals,
right,
those are some pretty cool festivals. I feel like our style could kind of sneak in under the umbrella of,
Right.
Maybe one day.
What about you, Chaz? Is there one in particular that you would have that you like a dream festival?
Oh man, I think,
current or past? I should have gave you that one. Is current or past?
Current or past?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Woodstock would have been cool.
Well, Woodstock is a crazy one.
Not Altamont. I mean, the Levitation, the Desert Days, Shaky Knees in Atlanta would be cool to be a part of that. But I mean, as far as dream lineup, there's just so many. But it would be awesome to be on any of these. I mean, there's some really cool. I guess we're talking about psych rock kind of festivals. The one Austin and one out there in the desert and stuff. But I'm just excited thinking about doing stuff like that. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, we'll take side stages. We'll play parking lots. We'll bring our own generator.
Just put you in the room.
Yeah, if you get us in the area, in the vicinity, we'll make a set happen.
Now, this is the live music showcase, and I want to give a shout out to our sound mixer, Mark Perfetti. And the reason I did that, not only is he a great guy, but I seen him in the distance just rocking out when you guys were just doing your thing. And I don't want to say this, so don't nobody tell him this. Mark can be a tough critic when it comes to music. So if you get him moving, you're doing a good job.
I think we're pretty popular as sound guys in general. I feel like and that's the ultimate compliment to us, because they listen to a lot. Like Mark's probably heard a ton of music, so that's high compliments.
Yes.
And I do think it's really cool with our music too. It's accessible, and everybody. I mean, we have toddlers to people in their 80s that dig our music. So that part about it's cool that we can have different types of fans, and we're not just making this music for a certain
not
type
just that
of
one
person.
pocket. You just everything.
Yeah. Which I've said this before, but everybody has such diverse taste in music, especially now, the way that music is out there streaming. We all listen to so many different types of music. So I think we try and, we're the same way.
Right.
And our music kind of reflects that too. We're if you're not a big fan of one of the songs, maybe stick around and listen a couple more. It might be your new favorite song. So.
I like the sound of that. And, I mean, like you said, you might not like the first one, but here comes the next one.
Right.
Now, I have a question for you, and I want you to take lead on this one, Chaz. Are there any artists outside of your genre that you've learned from on a level as a musician?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would say maybe more so than, jazz, Coltrane and Charles Mingus and just different types of players too, not even guitarists. I feel like I'm influenced more by, in electronic music, Aphex Twin and some of that drum and bass stuff, Fortet, some, so many. I could go on and on. Let's see, lately, I guess it's kind of in our genre. I've been getting back into Neil Young, though. I've been really digging his stuff lately for whatever reason. But yeah, I would say jazz is a type of music that kind of took me out of my pigeonholed thing with punk a little bit, and from listening and learning about the lives of some of those old jazz cats, that's been a big thing.
Some of them had it hard, and then just hearing the path that they've taken. Like, for example, outside of a personality, I'm a DJ. Of course, Jazzy Jeff is my cream of the crop. Like, he's on my Mount Rushmore. I actually had a chance to meet him, but
Wow.
I also like Scratch Bastard. That's another one that I like. It's just so many different DJs out there because you like them for different reasons and you learn different things from them.
Sure,
So,
and I would say scratching, probably a lot of that, comes from drumming or different rhythmic things too.
Right.
Maybe I never delved into it, but I would think maybe you draw in doing that maybe. And even, MCs, I would say
Yes.
my right hand, the rhythm of how I decide to play notes, you can really learn a lot from MCs and how their syllables are hitting beats.
Right.
Especially like in trap music and stuff too that's been coming out, just these triplets and these
Yes.
kind of like off weird beats. Like that's something that anyone can apply to their music or their art. It's like
That's
you
right.
don't have to just be listening and exposing to yourself to the type of thing that you think you're trying to do, because maybe
Right.
you're trying to do something else and you don't even know it yet. So
Now, Christian, don't get mad at me on this one, my brother. I'm gonna come back to you with this one, but this is gonna be more for Dylan and Chaz. And I put this question on Facebook, and you can follow me on Facebook at Gregory Bowers on Facebook. But the question I put out, Dylan and Chaz, I'm gonna just give it to you.
All right.
You might see where I'm going. The greatest guitarist of all time,
Jimi Hendrix.
Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I know it's cliche, but I would say for me, that's who really, still it's otherworldly.
Also, just so early on, he was
Exactly.
one of the first to do it really, really
Yeah.
well.
And I think
every
that's-
good guitarist after him pulled from Hendrix.
So
Sure.
you
Yeah.
both agree that Jimmy is the greatest to the two of you guys.
I don't know. I would have taken a lot more time to come to an answer on that and probably debated between like 5-6 people. But yeah, we'll go with that one for now.
Yeah, I would say John McLaughlin too.
That's
I
another
talked
one.
about the Mahavishnu Orchestra and just all of his stuff that he did with Miles Davis and continues to do, and incorporating
Yeah.
Eastern music into his playing. That was a huge thing for me. It's wild because my dad gave me a John McLaughlin tape when I was like in high school, and I was like super punk rock and
Right.
stuff. And I didn't pay. He had a double guitar on
You
the
didn't
cover of it.
understand
And it's
it.
like no. And then a few years later, I
You
listened to the
appreciated
Mahavishnu
it.
Orchestra, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pull that tape back out. And yeah, so I'd say maybe those are my top two.
Yeah, and some of the names that when I put the question out, of course, Jimmy was there, and I didn't know that he played right-hand guitar and he was left-handed
Yeah.
because back when he did it, there was no left-handed players, so
Right.
there was no left-hand
Flipped
guitars. And then when they made left-hand guitars, he continued to play that way because that's what he learned.
And some people do right. They play like my style guitar, but
Right.
flip too, just because that's how much of an influence the guy had.
So
you
now,
know?
excuse me if this sounds kind of retarded or kind of crazy of me, but when you flip the guitar, so are you essentially playing the notes backwards or
Well,
reading the music backwards?
I think in Jimmy's case, he flipped the strings too.
Gotcha.
Which that's another thing with those big headstocks on those Fender guitars. But
Right.
but I'm not to say that people don't do that. I've definitely I've known left-handed guitar players that they're just by convenience because they're always just hanging out with people that have those kind of guitars that have learned to play it that way.
Right.
Maybe next album that'll be my next
Flip them upside down.
Yeah.
Try to see if you
comes
can
out.
meet the challenge.
upside
Okay.
down world.
Well, they have DJ challenges, so that would be a good guitar challenge
Yeah.
for you and see if see how that turns out. I believe you guys have some more goodies for us, some more music to play along, right?
We'd love to. Yeah. This is on our new album, Any Wonder, that just came out on June 17th. And the recording features our buddy Rick that plays, Christian plays in a band called Movie Props with. He played Fender Rhodes on it. We're going to do a little strip down today. This is called Climbing to a Crawl.
next song is from our first album, Floods. It's called The Senator.
Let's go!
This is the live music showcase on WMNF. Like, I was tuned in, man. Like, y'all made me miss my cue point and everything. It just had me zoned.
Dialed.
Yeah, just like dialed in and
we're going
everything,
for.
man. Like, yeah, like you. Okay, so you won. You got me. What's next? This is the live music showcase on WMNF. I wanted to get into something right quick before we went to the next segment. And I wanted to ask Mr. Carney this. What upcoming shows do you guys have, and how can people keep up with the band and everything, merchandise and stuff like that?
Ooh, good question. We have a ton of upcoming shows. I'm not going to rattle them off on air right now, but we have an Instagram page.
Okay.
You can find all of our shows there. We're posting it there. Also got the Facebook. Yeah, we're on all the socials. Like we said, a lot of the songs you have heard today just came out on an album 2-3 weeks ago at this point.
The 17th of June, that was, right?
Yeah, you're
Daddy
right.
Daddy Cool Records.
Yeah, that was a really fun night. We had a really good turnout for that.
Now, Chad said that you guys inspired to catch, not just one box of people. You want to get the young, your box, and at the same time, people older. Tell me what the vibe was like that day, June 17th, that Friday at Daddy Cool Records.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Outdoor show. Like, I had friends there. I had, my parents came. They could kind of tailgate in the parking lot, have fun, do their thing. It wasn't a collective mix. And also just in bringing other people in, fun to play like multi-genre shows. You know what I mean? Kind of jump on with bands that aren't quite in your wheelhouse and kind of bring a little bit of that crossover crowd out too.
Right. And you guys had a couple of opening acts that night with you guys as well, correct?
Yes, we did.
Chlorine Fields.
And Spirit and Cosmic Heart warmed that night up with us.
Gotcha. Now, to stay on that same vibe on Any Wonder, the album, A Bind appears to be one of the songs that grabs everyone. Is there a meaning behind that song by any chance, Dylan?
That's more of a Chaz question. I didn't write the lyrics.
Chaz, we are with you now. Is there a meaning behind that?
Thank you very much, DJ Spaceship. That song was actually written we had been jamming, but the band hadn't even really started yet. It's kind of I guess I wouldn't call it a love song, but it's about kind of letting go of a bind or being kind of stuck in a thing and letting go and finding yourself with somebody that might be in a similar situation and being intertwined. So it's one of those things that I hope that people can put their own meaning to, but definitely,
Gotcha.
Was related to relationships between people.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And as you saying, learning to let things go. One thing that I had to learn to let go as an artist myself is my time. So other than time, what is one of the biggest sacrifices you've had to make to get to the point that you are right now?
I guess thinking of it as a sacrifice is kind of a thing, but it's not, this isn't something we can make a career out of quite yet. So
Yes.
I think we work day jobs. We work to do this. We don't to be able to play original music and make this happen and play the stuff that we want to play is very important to us. So as opposed to playing in a cover band, I think we've all made sacrifices to make this happen and keep it going. And Christian drives up from Englewood every week, so that's a big sacrifice too. He does a big commute to get up to play with us. So we all have our own little kind of things that we, have to do to make this happen. I think just glad these guys want to do it with me. So.
Gotcha. It's always good to have a band of brothers that's happy to take that journey with you, and it all meshes and blends perfectly. On behalf of Live Music Showcase, we want to thank you guys for coming out and sharing your talents with us. But before you leave, we have one more song for you guys to play us out. Cool. But before we do that, I want to make sure that I thank the crew. Our sound mixer, Mark Perfetti.
Thank you, Mark.
Yes, make some noise for Mark, because Mark is even though he was jamming out on the clock, we'll take that out as pay. Post-production, we have Richard Stone. Our audio system, we have the lovely Pamela Robinson. Make some noise for Pam. We have our video director, Bob Hoek. We also have on camera, we have Miss Marcy Connors. For our social media, we have Bree Shoemaker. Not to be outdone by our studio assistant, Megan Bowman. And our photographer, we have Chandler Collada.
All good people. You guys
all
been
good
great.
people.
Yeah,
Thank you.
And we have Micaiah Caldwell as our board app. So without that team, this show wouldn't be able to be what it is. And we also want to, even though he's gone the next couple of weeks, keep in mind and also thank Ken Apperson as well for this opportunity for all of us here. Sure. But what we want to do is we want you guys to go ahead and take us home with the last song and let you take it from there. This is the Liquid Pennies. This is the live music showcase on WMNF Tampa.
This is a brand new song coming up on our new EP we're going to put out here in a couple months. It's called Discretion.
You run.